So let's talk about speed. Speed really is about understanding two things. One, understanding the relationship of the trail arm, and two, understanding the movement, which gets classed as sort of separation of the lower body. So it's all about applying force to the club. Okay, so whether a biomechanist looks at the golf swing, or whether a physician looks at the golf swing, or whether it's a golf coach who looks at the golf swing, generally the agreement is in the understanding of this. Okay, how this arm basically moves in space, right? Now, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to do the rope drill. The rope drill is a fantastic drill. It's something that I'm really reliant with lots of my sort of students, because the idea is when we get holding onto the club, you should be applying what's known as an extensor force. So by using this piece of rope as I'm demonstrating here, and then getting the rope positioned so that there's an element of tension in the rope, is fantastic. Now the point is as I then swing this back, I need to move my arms in such a way which retain tension in the rope. Okay. Now as I come into the downswing, I still want to retain tension in the rope. But what I want to do is two things. I want to move my upper arm closer to the side of my body while simultaneously straightening my right arm. And you can see the blend of this, okay, or the blend of moving my arm in front of me is what retains tension on the rope. Okay, so for example, if you're the kind of golfer who hits the ball and your arm's bent and your arm's bent, you don't need to worry about hip rotation. You just need to improve your arm structure and you'll essentially hit the ball further. But what about if you're maximizing the arm movement? So what about if I'm getting here and I'm getting here and I'm getting here and I'm maintaining that good amount of sort of, should we say, width or pressure on towards the club? Well, then we need to incorporate rotation. Now, since, you know, the last sort of 4 or 5 years, a lot of my students, I work with a lot of students online, and what I wanted to do is find a way to get them to experience these things from distance without obviously being able to, you know, sort of, you know, manhandle people into position, so to speak. And that's the reason why I designed the Hipstick. So the idea with the Hipstick is I've designed it in such a way where it's the correct distance from your lead ankle if you're going to rehearse impact position, as I'm demonstrating like so. So I've put the Hipstick on. It also comes with a strike stick, as I'm demonstrating. And the point is that I suggest to most of my students, as long as your hips hit the stick at the point of contact, that's fantastic. Okay, that's brilliant. That's a really good reference. But what we've noticed with most professional golfers is they would increase that stretch. So as their arms are going this way, their hips are going that way. And this gets classed as like a lever, a moment arm, which basically means the bigger the stretch in the force that's going that way, and that way, the more distance. Most amateurs are doing this and kind of, well, this. Okay, so you can see the distance between these two, it's tiny. What you're trying to do is hold on to external rotation, move the upper arm aside to see how far away the club is, as I simultaneously rotate the lower body. And this is what applies the maximum force towards the rope, but it also creates the biggest lever. That's what you need to work on. If you like what you've seen inside the video, you can quite literally just look below in the shop and it will link you to the Hipstick. There's lots of instructional videos on that as well. But essentially what I'm trying to say is if you're someone who is seriously trying to introduce more distance to your game, the first thing you need to make sure is that you're moving your arms correctly. If you are then moving your arms correctly, you can then obviously start to progress incorporating rotation in towards your swing.